This is a fanfic of Naruto in Harry Potter and does contain yaoi, so if you do not like this sort of content please leave, and do not comment something rude. This story contains many other crossovers and comes from my Wattpad account Happy Naruto Simp. Anyways, let's start the story. Naruto in a Different Dimension. Chapter 1. New Powers and Appearance. POV narrator. Naruto was walking around after getting some ramen. He was going to go see his new friend Obito. P.S. Obito made a clone that looks like him when he was little. He was thinking of fusing Naruto with the rest of the bitches he had sealed in himself. Why, I don't know, I just made it up. The Akatsuki wasn't formed and Sasuke still has his family and the Uchiha clan is still alive. Hey Obito, Naruto said, greeting the clone. Hi, I have something to show you, the clone said and grabbed Naruto to let him to the real Obito. They went to a cave deep in the woods that scared Naruto a little but rubbed it off since he trusted Obito. They went into the cave. It was dark and Naruto couldn't see anything. Obito took that advantage and hit him in the back of the head, knocking him out. The clone carried Naruto to the hideout. The clone disappeared and came out Obito. He proceeded to make some weird hand signs and touched his seal. His fingers had 8 chakras on them, but they fused together and made one. The one was sinister but calming at the same time. It then had black glow surrounding it. Obito touched Naruto's seal, putting the new chakra in him, but before he died he made some hand signs and touched Naruto's seal again, but this time as a circle. That made Naruto have the black and white chakra surrounding him. Obito in his last breath saw that the fusing began. This fusing made Naruto's body change in many ways from the inside and outside. He woke up and felt very different. The way Naruto looks is the picture I have put in the background. Chapter 2. The Exile. POV narrator. When Naruto woke up he felt very different but didn't think much of it until he felt something furry and soft on his head. What the? Naruto thought when looking at his back and seeing 9 orange fluffy tails. He then felt his head and felt 2 ears on top of his head. He also saw that he had different clothes on and a tinier waist. He decided to get the hood that Obito had on to hide his body. He headed back and was shocked on how much faster he could move. He got back in around 10 minutes since Obito took him to a very secret place. He entered and said it was him to the guards that for once weren't sleeping and actually doing their job. They let him enter, but we're a little suspicious. He decided to go to his house but saw an Anbu there. Hello, do you need anything, Sir Anbu? Naruto asked the Anbu, who looked at him for a little and then recognized it was Naruto. Yes, Naruto, Uzumaki the Hokage and council want to see you, the Anbu said and then left. Naruto headed to the tower where the lady let him in. Naruto, Uzumaki, since you are now at the age to know the truth of your clan, we will give you everything. The council said, but Naruto knew there was a catch to that. Really, can I have it now? Naruto said and decided to go along with whatever they were planning. Yes, but you have to marry the second son of the Uchiha clan, Sasuke Uchiha, when you are 18. So we will give you everything now, but you have to make the blood contract. If not, be exiled. The council explained. Naruto did the contract but put fake blood on it. He got his clan's things that he sealed somewhere. He made a clone to go pack things so he could escape the Fire Nation. When a blood contract expert saw that the blood was fake, he called it out. That made the council mad, so Tsunade put them in 5-minute Jinjutsu. Naruto, you have to run away. Here is the scrolls from the royal Senju family that you're part of too. Do these hand signs once you're away enough. They will make a portal to another dimension. I want you to know I love you and that I'll always be with you, so take this picture and some other stuff. The clan leaders will probably be out of the Jinjutsu soon, so take care and run away while you can. Tsunade explained in about 2 minutes, but since Naruto had good memory and hearing, he understood it all. He started to cry but ran away. The last thing he saw before leaving was the clan leaders ready to attack Tsunade, who had a smile on her face. He met with the clone who had a bigger scroll to put the other scrolls in. He took it and ran for about 10 minutes, or what would have took him twice the time. He traced the hand signs from the paper Tsunade gave to him. He then put it in his pocket once the portal was opened, so no one else would know about that secret. Chapter 3. The New World. POV narrator. Naruto was now in a vortex between space and time. He decided to practice everything in the scrolls he got, but before he did, he decided to read Tsunade's letter. The letter. Dear Naruto. I knew when it was time that I died, but I want you to know that you're a doncel. A doncel is a man that has feminine traits and can get pregnant. As you know, you're Uzumaki. Your mom is Kushina Uzumaki and your dad is Minato Namikaze Senju the 4th Hokage. You are now the heir to the royal Senju family and the Uzumaki bloodline. I have probably given you the scrolls, so study them well and no slacking off. Also, since you are a donsal, your body works a little like a woman's, so when the seal wears off you will start to have menstrual cycles. Even though you're a donsal, you still have boy parts, so if you don't like boys you can be with a woman. It would just take many tries to get her pregnant. If you decide to be with a boy you will take the role of a woman and get pregnant. Love, Tsunade Yoruba-chan. POV narrator. Naruto started to cry while reading the letter, and was determined to make Tsunade proud. He didn't think he was going anywhere for a while and so decided to read and practice the abilities in the Senju family. He learned that he had the 5 elements and Makuten. He also learned Tsunade's strength, which took him a while, but since he had shadow clones, he decided to make millions and give each a scroll to learn in about a year or so, making Naru 11. So this works. He decides to disperse all of the clones. That was a big mistake because as soon as they dispersed them his head started to hurt and he automatically fainted. That's when a portal appeared and sucked him in. Naruto, without knowing, was falling from the air, and if it wasn't for his adamantine ceiling chains he would have died from the fall. He fell in a forest near a cabin. Not too long ago Hagrid was returning back to his cabin when he saw a boy with ears and 9 fox tails. Hagrid saw the boy had some scratches and bruises, so he carried him to the hospital wing at Hogwarts. Some of the teachers saw that Hagrid was holding something and carrying it to the hospital wing, so they followed. When he got there he placed Naruto on a bed and asked Madame Pomfrey to heal him, which she did. Some of the teachers and the headmaster entered and asked Hagrid who was the kid who was on the bed. I don't know, I found them on the ground near my cabin, Hagrid said, and suddenly Naruto started to wake up and his body was surrounded by a red chakra that healed wounds that Madame Pomfrey missed. Who are you guys? Naruto asked, still with a little of a headache. We should be the ones asking you, little kid, Snape said. Oh, sorry for my rude manners, my name is Naruto Uzumaki de Tebeo. Naruto said with an Uzumaki-style smile. TCH. Refer to me as Professor Snape, Snape said with an out-of-interest face. Okay. So what are your guys' name? Naruto said at the end, tilting his head to the side. I'm Dumbledore, the headmaster of Hogwarts. And how did you end up here, Naruto? Dumbledore asked, and then Mr. Flitwick interrupted and said, by the way, are your ears and tails real or fake? Oh, they are real, but I can hide them if I want to. Also answering Mr. Dumbledore's question about where I come from, it might sound fake, but believe me, it's true, I come from another dimension. Naruto said and shocked all the teachers there. Chapter 4. Joining Hogwarts. POV narrator. What? All the people in the room exclaimed, surprised. A short and easy explanation is I come from a dimension where we use something called chakra and most of us are ninjas. In my world 9 kids from each village are chosen or forced to have a tailed beast, called BU. BU are 9 powerful beings, each having different powers. The strongest BU of the 9 is the 9 tails, also known as the QB. People who have these beasts are called Jinchuriki. Let's say aren't treated the best and are thought of as monsters. Naruto said, explaining his world to the people in the room. When he got to the end his tone got sadder. Are you by chance one of the kids you call Jinchurikis? Dumbledore asked Naruto, who just looked the other way. I don't want to talk about it, Naruto said in response as he looked the other way. Very well, so Naruto, would you like to join this school? Dumbledore asked Naruto, who with chibi face thought about it. School? It's boring, but I mean it's a magic school, so maybe it'll be fun? Sure, but I don't have anywhere to stay, Naruto said with an anime sweat drop. We have dorms where you can stay at, but you'll have a roommate, Dumbledore said, telling Naruto he will need to share the room with another person. Okay, thanks, Naruto said with a smile on his face. Well, everyone, you may retire to your chambers, we will need energy for tomorrow, Dumbledore said as everyone returned to their rooms as he showed Naruto the room he would be staying in for the moment. Thank you very much, Tebeo. Naruto sailed happy as he threw himself on the soft bed and gave up to slumber for the next day to come. Chapter 5. Shopping for the school year. POV narrator. Naruto woke up as the sunlight had reached his eyes. He had decided to go to where he heard a lot of noise to see the teachers preparing a room for some sort of festivity. Oh well, good morning Naruto, Dumbledore said as he saw the boy. Good morning Tebeo. Naruto said with a bright smile on his face. We are preparing for the students who will arrive today. Oh, talking about that, you need supplies, so how about you go with Professor Snape to get them? Dumbledore said as he called over Snape, who when he heard he had to go with the overenthusiastic kid, sigh of annoyance. Dumbledore handed Snape a bag of money and the two had left for Diagon Alley. When they got there, Snape took Naruto to get his wand at Ollivander's wand shop. Naruto looked around the shop, stumbling over two rings. One was a silver ring in the form of a fox with a blue diamond in the middle. The other ring was a golden fox form ring like the other one, but the jewel was a circle that was purple that faded to pink. The picture in the background is what they look like. When Naruto picked them up, he saw as they both turned into wands. The first wand, basically the description in the picture. The second wand was a purple and black with a rose on it that looked like a spear, form 5 in the picture. The two wands soon turned back to rings and Naruto was surrounded by silver and gold magic. Naruto, are you done? Snape said, calling for him, kind of annoyed. Yes, Naruto said and returned back to him with the rings. I want these, Naruto said, making Snape look at him questionable. Fair enough, Snape said, and then they went to the cashier to buy them. We will take this, Snape said, setting the two rings on the table. The rings were costly, but since Dumbledore gave them kind of a lot of money, it was fine. They then headed to get clothes since Naruto didn't have many. Afterwards they headed to get Naruto a pet since Naruto begged Snape and also threatened to annoy him for the rest of the day if he didn't let him get one of the cute little animals. Snape, not really wanting to go through that, agreed, and so they entered a pet shop. Naruto went around to look for his pet. Don't take too long, Snape said, annoyed of being in a loud pet shop. Naruto nodded and he looked through the pet shop, stumbling on two cute pets, a black cat with red crimson eyes, which Naruto paid no attention to, and a white dog that looked like some wolf breed, with yellow eyes and a moon on its forehead. Pretend the puppy looks like the description and I'll show the cat first, then the puppy. Naruto took the cat out of the cage and held it close to his face, looking at it. The cat in response licked Naruto on his lips, making laugh. "Aw, you're so cute," Naruto said with smile, and then put the cat back and then decided to take puppy out, who barked and licked his faces. Snape had come over to Naruto to see if he was done since he just wanted to head back. "Professor Snape, can I take these two, please? Please." Naruto begged a little since he couldn't decide between the two. Snape agreed and they headed back to Hogwarts, where Naruto went to get ready since he wanted to try on one of his new outfits. He set the two animals on the bed and let them out of the cage. He then went to get dressed. He went towards the bag and had decided to put on the outfit in the background. He took off the kimono he had on and started to put on the outfit. He then headed down as he was called by Professor Minerva McGonagall to come with her at the dining hall to meet the other students. Chapter 5. The Sorting. POV narrator. Naruto went downstairs to see many kids waiting outside the doors of the dining hall as if waiting. Seeing this, he decided to walk around and he saw people gather around two people, so he followed along. One of the people was a boy with blonde hair and silver eyes. Photo in the background. By his sides were two boys named Vincent and Gregory. Couldn't find any pictures of them since they were kinda side characters. So it's true then what they were saying in the train, Harry Potter has come to Hogwarts. The blonde boy said, looking at three people in front of him. One was a boy with dark brown hair and green eyes, wearing glasses with a lighting scar on his forehead. By the right of that boy was another boy with ginger hair and blue eyes, and on the other side of the ginger was a girl with light brown hair and brown eyes. Picture of all of them in the background. As people started to whisper around them, repeating the boy's name, which was Harry Potter. "This is Crabbe and Goyle, and I'm Malfoy. Draco Malfoy," the blonde boy said, introducing himself as Draco Malfoy and saying the other two boys' last names. When saying his full name, he had walked in front of Harry Potter, making the ginger boy laugh at his last name, making Draco look at him. "Think my name is funny, do you? No need to ask yours. Redhead and hand-me-down robe. You must be a Weasley. You'll soon find out that some wizarding families are better than others, Potter. You don't want to go making friends with the wrong sort. I can help you there," Draco said, pointing out some things about the boy, instantly knowing the family he's from, and then turning back to Harry and looking at the ginger one last time before turning his attention to Harry Potter and taking out his hand in the form of making a deal or becoming allies. So wizarding families are kind of like clans, it seems like, Naruto thought, and then paid attention to the rest of the conversation. I think I can tell the wrong sort, thanks. Harry Potter said, looking at Draco and turning down his offer as Professor Minerva McGonagall comes behind Draco, making him go back to his two friends. We are ready for you now. Follow me, Professor Minerva McGonagall said as the doors opened to go inside the dining hall, which was very well decorated, having 4 rows of other students and who looked much older sitting at long tables. At the front was a table with more chairs, forgot the number, where you could see the teachers and the principal sitting at. In the middle was a black with like hat sitting on top of a chair. Can you wait along here please, Professor Minerva McGonagall said as she stopped before some steps, and so people obeyed her and gathered around. Now, before we begin, Professor Dumbledore would like to say a few words. Professor Minerva McGonagall said to the students. I have a few start of term notices I wish to announce. The first years, please note that the Dark Forest is strictly forbidden to all students. Also, our caretaker Mr. Flitch has asked me to remind you that the 3rd floor corridor on the right-hand side is out of bounds to everyone who does not wish to die a most painful death. Thank you. Dumbledore said as he explained some rules, making Naruto pay close attention. When I call your name, you will come forth. I shall place the sorting hat on your head and you will be sorted into your houses. Professor Minerva McGonagall said, explaining the way the ceremony was going to take place as she took out a price of paper calling the first name. Hermione Granger. Professor Minerva McGonagall said as the girl from before with light brown hair slowly stood up and walked, sitting on the chair. When she sat down, Professor Minerva McGonagall had put the hat on her a few seconds pat until something happened. Gryffindor. The hat yelled out, making everyone with the red and yellow striped necktie clapped and cheered as the girl named Hermione walked towards that table and sat down. When they calmed down, which was fairly quick, the next name was called. Draco Malfoy. Professor Minerva McGonagall said as the blonde walked up and sat on the chair, and it didn't even take a second until the hat talked again. Slytherin. The hat yelled out, then the gray and green necktie table cheered as Draco smiled, walking away. Everyone calmed down, and so Professor Minerva McGonagall called out the next name. Susan Bones. Professor Minerva McGonagall said as a ginger-haired came up and the hat was put on her head, and the same thing happened. After a few seconds the hat called out Hufflepuff and the people with black and yellow neckties cheered. Professor Minerva McGonagall called the next name. Ronald Weasley. Professor Minerva McGonagall said as the ginger-haired boy from before came up and sat on the chair. After a little bit the hat yelled out Gryffindor, making the red and yellow back-tie people cheer as he went to sit down. Several names passed, and then Professor Minerva McGonagall called out the next name, which made everyone get anxious. Harry Potter. Professor Minerva McGonagall said as he went up, and after a while his house was called Gryffindor. The hat yelled, making the Gryffindor people cheer once more as he went to sit down with Ronald Weasley. When is my name going to be called? This is getting boring. Naruto thought, bored and annoyed on how slow it was moving. After a few more people, Professor Minerva McGonagall finally said his name. Naruto Uzumaki. Professor Minerva McGonagall said as Naruto went up, happy at finally being called since he was getting very bored. As he sat on the chair the hat was put on him. Oh, so you're a ninja, a hard-working, courageous, loyal, cunning, and ambitious. You would be good for any house but Ravenclaw, so may I ask what house might you want? The hat said, making Naruto think about it. I think I want Slytherin. Also, how did you know I was a ninja? Can you see anything else? Naruto whispered and questioned the hat. I am the thinking hat, and so I know every memory stores in your head, past and present, the hat said as he then finalized his conversation. Slytherin. The hat yelled, making the Slytherin cheered as Naruto took the hat off and walked towards Draco sitting next to him as he had caught his attention. Hello, as you heard, I am Naruto Uzumaki, and if you don't mind I would like to be friends. Naruto said, determined to make friends in the new world. My name is Draco Malfoy, but you already know that. Answering your question, sure we can be friends, Draco said as he felt like Naruto was a strong person to have as an ally. Food then appeared in front of their plates. Naruto started to eat, seeing that his appetite had become much smaller than the one he used to have. When they were done with their food, 3 years, I think that is who took them, told them to follow them and warned them about the stairs, saying that they sometimes like to move. When they got to this painting, the 3rd year told them to remember the password, which was pure blood. Once they were in, they were assigned their dorms. Girls were on one side and the boys on another side. Naruto was assigned to be in a dorm with only one other person, that person being Draco. When Naruto entered the room, there was at first a little living room that was decorated in a dark green colored theme. A little farther ahead was 2 doors, and on the side of each was a silver sign. One read Draco Malfoy and the other read Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto had decided to enter his room, which had a green and gray color scheme on most things. On the bed he saw a luggage of clothes and 2 cages that had his 2 pets in. By them was also his uniform. He took the suitcase and unpacked the clothes, putting them where they go, and then set up an area for his 2 pets. He put the 2 rings on his nightstand, and decided to lay on his bed, then remembering he could have used his shadow clones to do this. TCH. Naruto said out loud, kind of mad he didn't think of using them earlier. After laying down and looking at the ceiling for a bit, he had decided to play with his 2 pets, and so he took them out of their cages and put them in the bed with him. He then sat crisscross on top of the bed. What should I name you guys, or can you talk and tell me your names? Haha, nah, I don't think animals in this world can talk. Naruto said playfully at first, and then laughed at himself, saying the last statement out loud since no one was around. Humans are so annoying sometimes. The dog spoke, making Naruto surprised, but then remembered he literally has met a giant talking fox. So you can talk. Wait, what about you? Can you also talk? Naruto said, surprising the both that he wasn't screaming or acting more surprised. To be continued. I will be doing other chapters of this soon to come, so bear with me.